things are looking good for a Kash Patel confirmation. MSNBC's a little scared. John Thune gives unsettling answers about Kash Patel, Trump's pick to lead the FBI. And Adam Schiff is on a press tour right now trying to do his best to rack up those nay votes against Patel.
If Kash Patel is confirmed, will you be able to work with him? You've been quite critical of him.
Kash Patel is an easy one. He should not be confirmed. The others, look, Marco Rubio, I think Emily well qualified. Several of the other nominees.
MSNBC, man. John Thune, the newly minted Senate Majority Leader, seems like he's laying the groundwork to give one of Donald Trump's most disturbing cabinet pits the green light. The South Dakota Republican has been portrayed at times as a wild card who might buck some of Trump's most unqualified or illiberal choices. If you're holding out hope for that, the senator's appearance Sunday on NBC's Meet the Press could have been a bit deflating.
Are you certain that Kash Patel's priorities would be fighting crime, protecting national security, rather than settling political scores?
I think that he understands what his mission would be if he is successful in getting confirmed to that position at the FBI. The FBI is an agency that I think is in need of reform and needs a good makeover, so to speak, and probably a good amount of house cleaning when it comes to just the perception the American people have of it. And these institutions that the American people need to have confidence and trust in, I think that confidence and trust is largely eroded. And there's an opportunity to fix that. I think that's what I sat down and met with him. I think he understands that's the mission.
Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And let me know what you think. Are you excited for Kash Patel as head of the FBI, or do you have apprehensions? Are you worried he's going to weaponize it just like the people that are leaving? It's no wonder they're scared of the guy. He's not afraid to call out the entrenched administrative bureaucracy and the games they play to try to protect their position.
We heard that Donald Trump tried to make you director of national intelligence.
He tried to make me deputy director of the CIA.
Can you imagine Kash as deputy director of the CIA? That would have been amazing. And it would have been at the perfect time to prevent so much of what we saw end up happening.
Basically what happened was Gina Haspel, of all people, walked into the Oval with Pence and some other deep state operatives, and Gina started crying and said, "You can't do that." Pulled a Bill Barr and basically said, "I'm going to lose the building." I was like, this is rich coming from the lady who architected Russiagate, is informing the commander-in-chief she tried to take down. Why I, the guy who exposed Russiagate, is not appropriate to be the deputy director of the CIA. It was kind of funny.
No wonder that lady was bawling her eyes out. She was like, no, we have so many investments to protect. You can't do this now. While Kash as head of the CIA would have been incredible, he could still do a lot as the head of the FBI. Ex-FBI officials worry that Kash Patel as director may wield unlimited power. Trump's pick, who's gained key support, could open investigations unilaterally or influence background checks. I bet you're scared of that, aren't you?
They just need the headline, and then the rest of it doesn't matter to them. Kash Patel is under investigation for what, right? And then if you read into the article, it says, well, anonymous sources have said that Kash may be under investigation. Oh, so I'm not under investigation, or I am? And then what's it for?
It's like a system of decentralized character defamation that they use. They build these headlines so that they can use these narratives to manufacture public support. See, here's what they're so scared of right here. I don't think people truly realize how powerful an FBI director can be unrestrained, Figluzzi said recently on the Highly Conflicted podcast. You want to open a case and call it a threat assessment or a preliminary investigation? You can do that. Is it just me, or are the terms threat assessment and preliminary investigation really self-explanatory on their own? I read that and I'm like, bro, you're trying to make something that the FBI already does, more than likely on a daily basis, all the time, that's completely normal, sound like some sort of scary tool for some sort of fascist dictatorship. Is this him basically admitting that he's afraid of being investigated right now?
The DOJ, run by Rod Rosenstein and Christopher Wray, launched an investigation into me during Russiagate and issued grand jury subpoenas for all of my personal information, something that I wouldn't find out till 5 years later, when Google informed me through a disclosure notification that the 5 years had been up, so they were allowed to tell me.
You were under investigation. You didn't know about it.
Right. Almost everyone I worked with in the intelligence community, almost everyone I worked with at DOJ and the FBI and the White House and my other jobs, almost everyone signs up to do the job. Every day they show up to do the mission, and they do it. And unfortunately, certain leadership figures and certain individuals along the way corrupted those enterprises.
And what I really respect about the guy is when you hear him say stuff like that, he actually means it, and his actions back it up. Trump's pick to lead FBI identified government gangsters. Senators set to ask Kash Patel about the list he dubbed as the executive branch deep state. Kash Patel is set to face questions during a bid to be the next FBI director about his history of fierce criticism of current and former federal officials, including a list of 60 people he has deemed members of the executive branch deep state that critics have dubbed an enemies list. I think that translates to has the deep state running scared? We're on a mission to annihilate the deep state, Patel told a crowd in October at a Nevada rally featuring Trump. GOP senators who have praised President-elect Trump's pick of Patel to run the FBI say he will bring the kind of sweeping changes to an agency that many Republicans say has been weaponized against political dissidents. It's got names that you would expect on there. Michael Atkinson, ex-inspector general of the intelligence community. Lloyd Austin, U.S. Secretary of Defense. Bill Barr. John Bolton, a one-time national security advisor. Joe Biden. John Brennan, former CIA director. Pretty much James Clapper, former director of national intelligence during the Obama administration. During the Obama administration, there were a lot of conservatives targeted by the IRS and other agencies as well, man. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There was the use of the FISA courts. There was the illegal surveillance. There's a lot of stuff going. Merrick Garland, Kamala Harris. Oh man, yeah, Eric Holder. Yeah, man, the names that you would expect on here, pretty much. And so it's cool to see the dude's actions back up his rhetoric.
And this is what Eisenhower warned us about. The defense industrial complex is an analogy of it, but basically, if you allow it to degrade over decades, then what you get is now the deep state. And that was the warning, that people are going to utilize it, Syria, for the advancement of their personal political gains.
Hearing this kind of rhetoric from officials, especially someone going in to head the FBI, is the kind of reassurance that I am looking for when I go to vote at the ballot box, especially when it's paired with the kind of action that we've seen from Kash Patel in his recent professional history. And I genuinely believe the media is misrepresenting his character and misrepresenting his professional history in order to make him look less competent and less qualified than he really is. I think Kash Patel is exactly the type of guy that we need running the CIA or the FBI. And so does Indiana Senator Jim Banks.
I think Kash is right. I mean, the last 4 years, we've seen the leadership of the FBI be more focused on the political causes of the left, going after parents at school board meetings instead of going after and investigating ISIS members in America. I mean, the Jabbar in New Orleans had ISIS content on his social media account. We should have been more aware of that and planned to stop that attack from happening and going after him. And instead, the FBI has become way too bureaucratic, way too political. And Kash Patel is going to be a big part of cleaning it up. But never forget that Donald Trump is going to be the president. He's going to be in charge. He's going to instruct Kash Patel, and I expect Kash Patel will help clean up the mess.
It's wild to me when people hear that and act like it's strange, because the FBI director is someone who's appointed by the president as part of the president's administration. So they are literally, under the hierarchical system, a subordinate of the president. It's not strange. It's not being a loyalist. You are hired by your boss to do the job, and you are literally there to represent the boss who's not able to 24/7 watch the FBI and not able to also 24/7 pay attention to foreign policy, while at the same time 24/7 pay attention to domestic security. So those issues in those jobs get delegated. That's part of the job. You're supposed to be listening to the president. And that's because the FBI director themselves was not elected. The president was elected based on the platform they presented to the people. And so if you're going to hire an FBI director that's not going to get with the platform the people voted for, how is that whole system supposed to work? Kash Patel breaking down the two-tier justice system on Sean Ryan, I think explains why he recognizes perfectly what the issue is, what needs reform, and why I'm comfortable with him in the role of FBI director. And I think it's going to be an awesome thing.
I was like, we're back to the Clinton case, the Clinton server case. No reasonable prosecutor would bring this case. I was in the National Security Division at the time. I was doing the discovery for Benghazi, where we found her freaking email. And then they took that investigation away from us.
If you look into Benghazi, it's my opinion that people are no longer around because Hillary Clinton were keeping those sensitive strategic communications on an unprotected server that I personally think she was selling China access to, that I think directly relates to how Benghazi played out. I think that's why that whole Pizzagate thing got all the media attention, because the real story was the Benghazi-related communications, and they didn't want anybody thinking about all that, allegedly and in my personal opinion.
And then it became the Clinton investigation, right? That everybody now knows about. I was like, who is this guy talking about? I didn't think it would happen, but it did. Came back full circle with the Biden administration, or the Biden prosecution of classified docs, and they let the guy off the hook. And they just said, doesn't matter. So we'll prosecute a guy who has a legal justification to have those documents because we don't care. It's Trump. And we won't prosecute the sitting president because you've made up a new legal standard that applies to exonerate him and to not even charge him. That is the two-tier system of justice on steroids.
So to me, it's obvious why they're scared of Kash Patel. And it's for the exact same reasons I want him in. Is Trump about to annex Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal? We break everything down. Check it out up top. In that same press conference, Trump just exposed what I think is the most important aspect of the Ukraine war. Check it out right here.